And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. It only costs you a flick of the finger. Can't you flick your finger for the channel, people? Come on. We out here giving you 2 stories a day every day. Now, today's story is about your girl. You know, Letitia James. Y'all, she's been implicated in all kinds of stuff at this point. We're talking about mortgage fraud. We're talking about insurance fraud. We're talking about the use of the private jet, the taxpayer paid private jet to just jaunt around. We're talking about political dealings where she's going after her political enemies and protecting her friends. We're talking about potential SA, you know, the word, the YouTube, you can't say it on YouTube, but use your imagination, people. And now it's like the cherry on top of the cake, potential complicity in financing of terrorism, y'all. I mean, this is just wild. Now, the Gateway Pundit has this story and people have been talking about it, so we're going to cover it here. But before we do, y'all, make sure you take care of your money. I'm not going to make this a long one, y'all. Go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com or call 844-651-8334, 844-651-8334. If you have $50,000 to $100,000 or more in your retirement, protected from inflation, protected from monetary debasement, you're about to retire. Make sure your money's still there and it's still worth something by investing at least some of it in gold. Talk to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals. Go click the link now, get the free information, and protect your precious retirement. It says her biggest scandal yet. Iran and China are circumventing sanctions via notorious bank, and Letitia James is implicated. So here we have this bank called the Standard Chartered Bank, and the sanctions evasion case, now in court in the U.S. Second Circuit, found at least $9.6 billion in illegal payments by the bank to Iranian and Hezbollah entities. Now, if you don't know much about Iran, if you don't know much about Hezbollah, let's just say, I would say on the official United States government, from their perspective, both of these are at best unfriendlies and at worst enemies. The case implicates New York Attorney General Letitia James and the Federal Reserve for ignoring billions of these illicit payments and ignoring Treasury sanctions designations. Maximum pressure is not being enforced because of the failures of the Fed and the New York Attorney General. So y'all, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to jump to the part so that you can understand it well. We're not going to read through this whole thing. We're going to jump to the part that most concerns you. In early 2024, New York Attorney General was briefed by terrorist financing experts and the whistleblowers in detail on the illicit payments, yet did nothing about it other than reapprove Standard Chartered Bank's annual license. The New York Attorney General was briefed in 2 meetings in February and March 2024 about the $9.6 billion of illegal payments and did nothing but approve the annual renewal of the Standard Chartered Bank's state banking license. In other words, while somebody's saying, hey, you know, they're getting 9.6 billies, they're evading the sanctions. And of course, they're using those funds to strengthen themselves, and they're unfriendlies to us. And she like, do we really need to do anything? Oh, I know we'll go ahead and reapprove their licenses so they can so this bank can keep operating. This is what the allegation is saying. One of the meetings was recorded and clearly shows that New York Attorney General officials recognized the payments were not previously known and not in prior SCB sanctions settlements. 5 NYAG senior staff, including Letitia James' deputy Scott Spiegelman, were all in the meetings. In late 2024, Spiegelman went to work for IBM, which has a large tech contract running the SWIFT program. Okay, the SWIFT program is one of the primary ways the United States implements its sanctions. IBM Promontory advised SCB to hide current trade data. So y'all, this is saying now that Letitia James and her office are involved in financing terrorism. Oh my gosh, y'all. Now let's bring it. Let's bring this Letitia James story maybe a little bit more down to earth. Okay, we know that just recently a Customs and Border Patrol officer was shot while being robbed, and Letitia James, being the Attorney General for the state of New York, this is under her domain. And y'all, what you're gonna notice is that regardless of how bad it gets, regardless of what happens, officials in New York are just adamant and not working with the president. They would prefer try to thwart his agenda over protect their own citizens. This is just crazy. So I'm going to show y'all Mayor Adams. He's trying to help. He's a former police officer. He's trying to help, but he's being overridden by Letitia James and her allies who are like, yo, people who are in the country without permission, we need to put them first. Take a look.
Mayor Adams wants changes to the city's sanctuary laws after the Justice Department filed suit seeking to strike them down.
But he's facing fierce resistance from the city council as they try to stop him from expanding the role of ICE agents here. Political reporter Marcia Kramer just spoke to the mayor minutes ago. Marcia.
Well, Dick and Christine, Mayor Adams told me that while he thinks it's important to have sanctuary laws to protect the undocumented, modifications are necessary to help go after people who commit crimes, like the shooting of the off-duty Customs and Border Patrol officer just last week.
I think we need to tweak the current laws to allow us to coordinate with the federal government when it comes down to removing those dangerous people from our streets.
Mayor Adams made no bones about the fact that he wants changes to the city's sanctuary laws. The need brought home to him in dramatic fashion when two Dominican Republic nationals here illegally were involved in the shooting of an off-duty Customs and Border Patrol agent.
It is mentioned in the lawsuit, the individuals who shot him, the shooter and his co-conspirator, they had a number of violent arrests. And so there is a level of anger and frustration that New Yorkers have.
Even before the Justice Department sued the city, his administration issued an executive order to allow immigration agents to work on Rikers Island. The city council sued, and there is now a temporary restraining order to prevent that idea from happening.
I said it to the city council last year that we need to re-examine it, and they say they refuse to do so. So they're protecting individuals like the shooter. And that's wrong.
A spokesperson for the New York City Council tells CBS News New York, quote, New York City's elected officials have a responsibility to protect our city and serve New Yorkers, not Trump's political agenda. We must be completely united in defending New York City against these frivolous legal attacks that seek to undermine our city and public safety. Meanwhile, President Trump stepped up the pressure, making it clear that New York isn't the only place that will be hit with suits if they don't cooperate with the feds.
That's DOJ going against New York, but we're going against a lot of other places, too. We want to bring safety to our cities. We've started numerous lawsuits with other cities. We want to bring safety. We've got to get the criminals out, and we're doing it in record numbers.
Now, the mayor argues that the increase in immigration enforcement in New York City since President Trump took office is far less than any other major U.S. city.
So y'all let me know what you think about this. I mean, do you think she's complicit in financing terrorism? This is just crazy. I guess once you start getting up in these high offices, you just have all kinds of things that can happen. Let me know what y'all think about this. Do you think anything's going to come out of any of this? Now, I've gone on record saying I do think she will be indicted and arrested for the mortgage fraud situation. I'm sticking to that. I do think that will go somewhere, if not sooner rather than later. But the terrorism thing and some of this other stuff, I don't know. It remains yet to be seen. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Before you do, please hit the share button. Share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. For my people with the retirement, when them Dems get back in office, you know what they're going to do, right? They're going to say, hey, how much money you got? Because somebody just arrived in the country without permission, and we need to help them. We need some money. We need a donation for that person. You better protect it. Go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com. Get the information about protecting your retirement with the oldest, strongest, hardest money mankind has ever known. And speak to my people at Augusta Precious Metals at 844-651-8334. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. We'll see you back in the next one.
I want to ask you about this Border Patrol agent who was shot in New York City over the weekend. 2 undocumented immigrants with final removal orders are in custody for their involvement in this. One person of interest, Miguel Mora, has a criminal history. And I just want to lay this out for our viewers who are not familiar. I know this is a little lengthy, but it's important. And that criminal history includes charges for assault on a pregnant woman and a stabbing charge in January, according to 2 senior law enforcement officials. DHS detailed 3 arrests in the last 2 years in New York City. His alleged accomplice, Christian Ibar Berroa, also entered the country illegally and has a criminal history that includes charges of reckless endangerment and felony grand larceny. He pleaded guilty to petite larceny at the Bronx County Supreme Court in June of this year and was conditionally discharged, according to DHS. Is this the kind of incident where there may be a case where law enforcement, local law enforcement, should be coordinating with immigration authorities? Both of them had these removal orders, these final removal orders.
So let me just say, I'm so glad that the officer is doing well, and we pray for a speedy recovery. 2, let me also say that it is now time for Congress to enact comprehensive immigration reform. 3, individuals, obviously, who have criminal convictions or criminal convictions, obviously, it is the policy of the great state of New York to cooperate with ICE agents. However, individuals who serve you each and every day, who come to this country seeking a better opportunity, individuals fleeing violence, individuals who want the same thing that you and I want, and that is to care for their families, individuals who serve us each and every day. Those are the individuals who need protection, and that's why the state of New York and other Democratic attorneys general are standing up for those families and for those individuals who unfortunately are being kidnapped in the middle of the night by masked agents with no insignia, no identification, and taken away from their families. Again, we have no problem with the worst of the worst, but unfortunately, they're focusing on too many innocent individuals who work in our farms, in our small businesses, who go to church, who go to school.
I understand what you're saying, because voters make a distinction, a lot of them, and the polls show it, between undocumented immigrants without criminal records, people you're talking about, and those who have them, right? Especially in these extreme cases, like we look at in this case in New York City. But to that point, in this case, why should those voters think that this is something other than the system not working? I mean, if you're talking about waiting for comprehensive immigration reform, I've been in Washington for 20 years, and they've been trying for a long time. It doesn't happen, right? So why, in the case of cities taking a step and states taking a step, is this an example where there could be that coordination instead of waiting decades for Congress to act?
At the outset, I indicated to you that, in fact, New York State and other Democratic states cooperate with ICE when it comes to criminal convictions. But when it comes to innocent individuals who serve as your nanny, who clean your home, individuals who are our neighbors, individuals who unfortunately are just trying to make ends meet.
Both of these individuals had multiple arrests after deportation orders. Why are those not opportunities?
And that is why in the state of New York, when it comes to individuals, as you indicated, individuals with criminal convictions, then we cooperate with ICE. But it's important that we make a distinction between those individuals with criminal convictions and those individuals, again, who are just trying to make ends meet each and every day. And the vast majority of individuals who are being secreted and kidnapped at night are individuals who, again, are facing civil deportation and not criminal enforcement. It's important that we make a distinction. It's important that individuals understand that individuals are being caught up in these ICE raids, innocent individuals, students, teachers, small businesses. We all want the same thing, and that is to protect individuals from harm. But unfortunately, what we are seeing is mass ICE agents without any insignia, without any identification, kidnapping innocent individuals that both you and I know.